I keep forgetting to wrap up my videos before I reach the 5 minute marker here with Screener. And yeah, so I'm sorry if that gets annoying, but I'm just gonna repeat the last thing I said in the other video, which was I was just setting the parameters for my document, and I had named it what did I call it? Week 6, L for lesson, underscore rkiely, um, or rkiely. Yeah, that's good enough. And the reason why I use an underscore, actually, in case you guys are wondering, is because it's a habit from working with websites for a while. Um, you don't leave spaces in names when you're working with websites because it makes weird things happen. In some browsers, the image may not show up if it has a actual space in the name or any weird characters. So if you want some space visually, you just do an underscore or a dash. Anyway, that's just a little tangent there. But back to the sizing of this document, because we were talking about how it's a huge poster, 24 inches by 36 inches. And you know how earlier I was saying that anything that goes to print needs to be in 300 pixels per inch, 300 dpi. Dots per inch, pixels per inch, same thing. Dots are just, pixels are what you see on screen. Remember when you zoom in and you see tiny little squares of color that make up the image? That's those are pixels, and then dots are the little dots of ink that your printer makes, which replicate the same pixels. So you can say dots per inch, pixels per inch interchangeably. Unless you're working with web, then it's just pixels. You're not going to be printing anything, so there's no need to say dots, but I say them interchangeably. So anyway, back to the resolution issue. They knocked, instead of 300 dpi or ppi, they want 150 pixels per inch, just so that this file is not going to be ginormous. And because their saxophone image, first of all, is not even that great quality, I noticed when I was zooming in. So it's not like it's going to matter a whole lot. Where you would notice the difference when you print out something in 150 as opposed to 300 is if there's a lot of detail in an image. And you want that to be crisp all the way up close. In some, like for example, Dead Humpy posts, they print out huge photographs that are meant to be framed and mounted, and you want that to be super sharp and crisp. So yeah, 300 dpi definitely, but for a poster you could get away with 150 and people probably wouldn't notice, and that's what they're saying in the book. So we're putting it at 150, and I just want you to know all the background about that because I went to design school, it's kind of a big deal. All right, and then there's the different color modes. There's bitmap, grayscale, RGB, CMYK, and lab color. Now, of these different types, I think you really only need to know, we'll see, grayscale is what it sounds like. Bitmap has to do with, bitmap, it's hard to explain. Just ignore it for now. Okay, grayscale is black and white. RGB has to do with colors of light. So when you're looking at images online, they always convert them to RGB mode. It's red, green, blue, and if you worked on stage at all, you know that the colors of light that they shine on stage are red, green, and blue, and that when you mix them together, they can create other colors. And so like if you put red, if you want a white spotlight on someone, you put the red, green, blue together and it makes a brilliant white. Whereas when you mix ink colors together, which is CMYK, cyan, magenta, yellow, black, that's kind of like blue, pink, yellow, and black. The colors of toner. The official names are cyan, magenta, yellow, black, which is why it's called CMYK for short. But yeah, those colors, if you mix ink colors together, it kind of becomes this murky brownish gray. Very different in dynamics. So it's good to know that in case you're trying to create your own new colors and you're trying to figure out how to add more of this or more of that. The RGB mode and the CMYK mode works very differently. But anyway, for print, we need to pick CMYK. It's just one of those things. And then finally, hit OK. And let's see, this is our file. And because I floated my other document, this is now floating. I'm going to pop it into place here.